Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Craig Martin with Fathers on Cue. Um, thank y'all for tuning in again. Uh, Today is going to be, I think the last couple of days I was on Lines of Union talking about a couple of different events that happened over there. And today I'm gonna jump to North Vincent Road, aka Fairfield University, where I played basketball back in the day in the early 90s, dating myself, but that's all right. And there's a couple topics I want to talk about, but one topic in particular that I always think about, even to this day, is how much time you spend as a scholarship athlete working on your craft compared to just a regular student going to school and not having to the other I can't even say pressure, the other things you have to do that an ordinary student has to do. It's once you sign on a dotted line, so to speak, and I mean that literally, sign on a dotted line, you like committed for that particular semester, because it's not excuse me one second, it's not a you say you get a scholarship, it's a 4-year scholarship. That's not true. You really do have to sign every semester that you're there, and it's kind of like having a as you get older, if you have a job where it's at will, the employee can let you go at will. They don't have to necessarily have an explanation to let you go and release you from working from them. It's kind of like the same way with your scholarship. If you don't follow the rules of the school, it doesn't really have anything to do with the team rules, but it does too. I mean, you could definitely, I've heard stories over the years where people violate the team rules and they're let go, but more than likely you're going to get let go because of violating a policy that was given by the school that affects you as a student, not just as a student athlete. So sign on a dotted line every semester, September and it was January. So today I wanted to talk about how it's more than just student athlete means really student, and then you got the athletic part. And correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, in the comments, but it's like having almost like 2.5 jobs, really, I would say, or 3 jobs. And the reason why I say that is because and the title of this episode is 5:30 a.m. on the track. Yeah, 5:30 a.m. on the track. And these were some of the strangest mornings because Connecticut has weird weather sometimes, kind of like what we're going through right now, where it's kind of, it gets cold. It's warm in the day and it's like cold at night. It's kind of like that. But in the early morning, it's like misty, foggy sometimes, most of the time. And, it's not the best weather to be running on a track in. And back then the track wasn't that great. We think we were running on gravel. So it wasn't like the more up-to-date tracks you see now where they have the composite material, what have you. And, it's got a lot of cushion to it. We were running on dirt gravel tracks. And I guess I'll talk about practice too, but then I'll come back to track. So back then there was no rule for the 20-hour practice week, and then you had to have a day off. There was no rule for maybe, I think it was it 91 or 92 that rule kicked in. So as a freshman, we would have 5-hour practices. In high school, when did you ever have a 5-hour practice as far as basketball goes? Never. because he would go from like maybe 3:30 to 5:30, 6 o'clock, maybe. Um, and that would be it. Who has a 5-hour practice? And then shout out to Coach Bonagiro, shout out to him, shout out to Coach Vinny, Coach Baris, Coach Turner, who played with Barkley back in Auburn. He was one of our assistant coaches. And shout out to y'all, appreciate y'all. First year when I was in school, learned a lot. But y'all killed us, man. You know, some of them long hours, man, was just crazy. We just had to deal with it. So it got better over the next 3 years because they had to give you a day off where we did no type of basketball. I can't say we didn't do any type of basketball activity, but we were like encouraged to do like come in and do just shoot whatever and or practice on free throws or go to the weight room or something like that on a day off. You could do something freestyle. But 9 times out of 10, we ain't do nothing really because it's hectic. It's taxing on your body, and I think it's more taxing on your mental to make sure that everything that you're ready to compete at the Division I level. So, like I said, guys, chime in on the comments. All you D1 athletes, all you scholarship athletes out there. It doesn't matter where you went to. Chime in and tell your stories. Comment on what you did or what you went through. So, all right. So we got practice first year. Sometimes it's 4 or 5 hour practice. So crazy. Then you would have to do all your academic commitments, even though you done went to practice from 2 to 5, 2 to 7, you still got to hit study hall. Still got to turn around, get up at 5:30 in the morning, study hall for 2 hours sometimes, 7. Try to snatch something, grab something from the cafeteria before they close that. You know, then shoot the study hall. You done practice 5 hours. How you gonna study? It's hard, man. It's difficult. It's the thin line, you know, where now you got to change from doing athletic activity for 5 hours until now you got to process this stuff that you got coming up for your 4 classes or 5 classes. And then you got to turn right back around, back on the track 5:30 in the morning. And I think we only did the track back then, maybe 3 times a week. And then we did early morning weight sessions and then went to class, and then came to, you know, practice like 2, 3, something like that. And then that changed like my sophomore year. We did more track stuff, alternating track and distance. So track on the track, doing 220s, like we would do like a what do they call it? I just call it like a scale. So you would go up 220, 440, 880, run like 10 hundreds, and then go back down. Then you would, go back up 220, 440, 880, and you'd be done. Then go up to the weight room. But then like Tuesdays and Thursdays, we run distance. We run like 6, 8 miles early in the morning. Just coach would take us out. He started, and all right, this is the way we're going. And then we would run that most of the time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Run through the campus, run around outside of in the township, whatever, and bring it on back in. So, but like I said, 5:30 in the morning. You done finish study hall at 9 or what have you. And yeah, you got to get some sleep. Hopefully you can get some sleep. You should be able to get after 5-hour practice, but then everything else, that free time part kicks in. Like, how do you handle your free time? And I started writing on that maybe 15 years ago or so. It's now 2022, maybe 20 years, 2002, 2003. I started writing on the transition from high school to becoming a student athlete. How it changes because everything is kind of like already set for you. You're kind of like almost like a robot in high school. You know you got one class, second period, third period, fourth period, lunch, whatever, boom, 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 you get out at 3 o'clock. All my student athletes out there know that's not the case, because your schedule for college could be all over the place. Some days, I mean, my senior year, there was like 2 days I didn't have class at all. And I had a couple of 3-hour classes, like at nighttime from like 6 to 9:30 or something like that, or 6 to 8:30, like once a week. So, or then you have those classes you have twice a week instead of 3 times a week, like a Tuesday, like a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that. But it would be, and everything would be in the morning to keep your afternoon free, because you had to go to practice. So I mean, everything is set up for you to succeed. I mean, you have your academic advisors, things that you can go to. They definitely have tutors and things like that that'll help you out. Even your classmates in your class, they're just willing to help. So there really was no excuse as far as that part. Just the taxation from transitioning from the physical part into study, like your mental, remembering all that stuff. You got to remember your plays. You got to remember this. You got to remember that. I mean, you didn't have an extravagant playbook or whatever, but it was something you had to, kind of buy into. And just going back to the early mornings, I mean, like I said, it's not the ideal situation for you. If all you track guys out there, track girls, whatever, ideal situation, it's warm weather, it's not raining, and you don't need a lot of time to get limber and stressed out. Fortunately, we're talking about weather in Connecticut between like the end of September into I think a couple of years. We started November 1st, so we were training all the way up until November 1st. And I think one year was October 15th, but most of the time I think it was November 1st when the season started, when you could actually have official practice in the gym as a team. So it's a lot of cold mornings, even in Jersey. Y'all know, but Connecticut was a little different. I mean, we were maybe about 2 miles, 3 miles from off the Long Island Sound, and some of the kids had houses out there, not houses, but they rented houses for the semester or for the year. They had houses that were big, 10, 12 bedrooms, 8, 5, whatever. And kids would live off campus the junior and senior year. So, but that wind coming off the Long Island Sound in October, November is no joke. So then I have another episode to talk about the beach houses and some other stuff that went on during the year that was kind of like a traditional thing out there. So talked about the track, talked about, when you go after the season starts, going on the road, and you got to bring your stuff. You got to bring your schoolwork with you, man. You can't just leave it behind. You might have a test when you come back, or you might have something that you need to do to get ready for a project or whatever, and you just gotta bring your book bag, man. You gotta bring your duffel bag with all your stuff to play, socks and stuff. And I see why guys have like pet peeves and how they go about getting ready for the games. I had the same things before I had rituals and routines that I went through to get ready for games. And if something is off, it's like you feel like you're jinxed. So you got to make sure you bring all your stuff with you, and definitely your book bag. Because if you ain't bring your book bag, it's like, well, you might as well stay home, because the coach definitely wasn't having that. So to all you ladies and young men that have went through it, y'all know what I'm talking about. There goes the phone ringing. I know what I'm talking about, and shout out to y'all for getting through it, getting through college, and this younger generation coming up, man. Let's just not only help to keep them focused, but keep them, on the straight and narrow, because that free time, man, could be a killer if you're not careful. It's so much free time in college, man. You just don't realize it, even though as a student athlete, most of your time is taken up with practice and study hall and other mandatory things that you got to attend, but you still got to manage it. You still want to keep that scholarship. You still want to stay engaged. You still want to play the game. So, and maybe you're in a position where it transitions you into the next level, NBA, G League, whatever, overseas. So just, keep your focus. There's guys like me, former student athletes out there that you could talk to, people that formerly went to your school that you could talk to, reach out to. I'm sure the alumni would love to take you underneath their wing and show you the ropes, et cetera, and just, talk to you about different things, how they handle things, how they went through stuff. As they say, nothing new under the sun. So if they went through the whole process of how many years they stayed there to make sure they got their education, why can't they help you do the same thing? So this one is called 5:30 on the track, 5:30 a.m. on the track, because that's what it was, man. And then lastly was we had the first year we had a challenge after we went through the whole preseason. I think it was the last day or the last week or the last time we got on the track, we did a time mile. So the forwards and the centers had to come in at, I want to say, under 6:30, something like that. And the guards had to come underneath like 6 or something, 6-minute mile. It's pretty fast. Got to come in under 6. I mean, most relay teams now, they run like 55, between 45 and 55 seconds on a quarter mile. So you're talking about a 4-minute mile. These guys they moving out. So I say we as point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, a minute 15 on a quarter is not too bad. So, but we were running maybe 102, 103, something like that, something crazy. And, just really moving, just making sure you're striding, doing your thing. So there was the preseason, but then there was that pressure of, you got to make sure you come underneath a certain time. I think it was 5:30, I believe, something 5:30. So we was rolling. And yeah, it was all these things that you had to do on top of what you were already doing. So, like I said, shout out to you guys, and those that's about to transition into any type of scholarship program, whatever sport it may be, man. Shout out to y'all for making that achievement. And hopefully your time is well spent. But yeah, you really have to stay focused on the goal, and that's to graduate. Care how long it takes you, just graduate. All right. So shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, I'm gonna drop one every day. This one from North Benson Road, aka Fairfield University, and this was the 5:30 a.m. on the track. So I'll see y'all tomorrow, and thank y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna hit the outro.